Joining us here at halftime on the Hy-Vee Halftime Report is women's basketball coach Jill Cress. This is back to the old NAIA days when we used to visit at halftime of the men's game about your game. And I was a little bit worried maybe that we would not have a happy occasion tonight, but all's well that ends well. Congratulations on your win tonight against UIS.
What do you mean, Rick? Do you not think that I handle losses well and I'm not fun to talk to?
Well, no, I just thought maybe it would make it a little bit more fun. No, you're always fun to talk to. I want to talk about a couple of different things tonight, but let's focus on your game first tonight. For those who didn't hear it, you win 69-54, but got off to a great start, which wasn't the case last weekend at home in a couple of games.
Again, I think defensively we were able to do some things that got us going early, and we got some quick shots, and even to start the game, Rose got an open three and hit one, and actually Coach Broad did a great job and talked about it before the game. The games that we've done well is when we've gotten off to quick starts, and when we've gotten down early, we've struggled a little bit. But I thought the players did well in the press, and we got away with some things defensively and kind of got us going.
Everybody would like to start fast. The trick is getting it done, and I know if you knew all the answers to that kind of stuff, you probably wouldn't be coaching at Division II level. But still, you're exactly right. It just made things a lot easier when you start hitting those shots.
Yeah, I was just looking at our shooting percentage, and I think we went 6 for 8 maybe from three-point range the second half, and that hasn't been happened for a while. And I'll be quite honest with you, we're very capable of it. This is kind of funny when somebody's shooting bad. When you have a couple kids shooting bad, it seems like right now our whole team of them shoots poorly, and we haven't been able to find somebody that can kind of get the spark going. And today, we had some kids step up and shoot well, and I think a lot of it was, again, defensively we were playing well and getting some things going, maybe got some confidence going.
Cardinals win tonight and now 10-6 on the year, 4-4 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. I want to ask you some of the same kind of things I asked Larry. First of all, let's talk about your relationship with him because it's been so great, and for our men's basketball fans listening tonight, I hope they appreciate that this isn't the situation at every college. We hear, as Larry said, horror stories about the men's and women's program, a big rivalry between them for whatever. That's certainly not the case here. Could you talk a little bit about that, please?
Actually, it's been really good for me, and I think probably for Coach Holly, and I think one of the reasons that our teams do well is that we do work well together. And we really work on making a whole family out of both teams. And, when we take trips like this, we try to do an activity together with both teams. And it's, in the coaching world and with a lot of my coaching friends, they don't have that. And, I don't know why. I think it makes it nicer for the players. But, one particular school that I know, they now fundraise to take separate buses because they don't want to stay and watch the men play, and the men don't want to get there to watch the women play. And I think that's too bad. I think you're sending the wrong message there. And a lot of times also with practice times, it's a lot of times a battle with other schools on when they want it. And both Coach Holly and I have worked well, and if he has something come up and where he needs to change practice, we do, and it's the same thing with us. And and it's nice. Our personalities are kind of similar. He's a little more laid back than I am. He'll tell me that I'm a little fiery, but we both a little sarcastic, and I think both have the perspective of what basketball and collegiate athletics is about.
You're both very competitive, though, so how did it start? I mean, was there ever a time where it was contentious or, because he kids a lot about those first 5 years?
Yeah, actually, coming in, I think, and wrongly, I think Coach Holly gets labeled sometimes as somebody that's really arrogant, and, and you hear that, he is anything but that.
Absolutely. I'm gonna step here and say absolutely. Yeah. He is really one of the most humble guys I've ever met.
Extremely humble, and when I first got there, we just didn't know each other very well, and I probably didn't take the time to get to know him, and probably the same thing with him, so those first few years really was that. We just didn't have a great relationship. It wasn't bad. We just didn't communicate with each other, and through the years of traveling together. It's become a lot, he's my best friend. I tell everybody that, and, people laugh, but he really is. And not just because of basketball, personal life and everything, he's just an easy person to talk to. But, those first 5 years, I think it was probably there. Our programs worked well together, and they did, but we didn't have the camaraderie that we do now.
He's a 5-time Hall of Famer with 700 wins and more and all of that. Ever intimidated by all of that?
No, actually, I think I'm brought along to keep his ego down. But no, he's so very deserving of that, and can't think of a better person to get all those awards. And for me, it's kind of an advantage. I pick his brain a little bit. I think he's probably one of the best teachers that I've seen in the classroom. Also, he enjoys that, and then when you watch him on the floor, that is a big advantage for their team. We have different coaching styles. I'm more big picture, let's go, and then I need to get a little bit better with how he does with his teaching. And so there, a lot of times I'll stay back and watch his practices and just pick up little pointers. And I think a lot of people don't see that or get the opportunity. And I know I'm blessed to be able to coach with him and be able to do that.
Is he accepting of, let's say you've got some kind of a different look at an inbounds player, something X's and O's? Does he accept that?
It's kind of funny because I always think, why are you asking me? But we'll talk about what I see with his team. If they're struggling a little bit, but he'll ask a lot of people that, and it doesn't mean that he changes. But he does like a lot of opinions. One of his strengths as a head coach is that he's good with his assistant coaches, not agreeing with him. He makes the final decision, but he's somebody that's willing to change, and I think that makes him a really good coach. Goes to the kids that he has this year maybe are a little more athletic than what he's had in the past, and so he's playing a little different than they have in the past. Before they've been more very skilled and fundamental, and he's just somebody that can take advantage of whichever kind of team he has. And they're doing a great job this year adjusting to that. And so he's gone to other coaches, asked for other coaches' opinions, but he'll ask me, and I'm always I'll give him my ideas. Sometimes he takes them, sometimes he doesn't. But it's nice because he'll watch our games and kind of give me ideas on things that he thinks would maybe help us too.
Jill Cress is with us on the Hy-Vee Halftime Report. We're taking a little break from some of the stuff we normally talk about, and this is kind of a good time, I think, to do that. But you mentioned the personal stuff. Larry, everybody knows, I believe, had cancer, 5 years ago? Maybe not quite that long ago?
Not quite that long ago. I think maybe about 3 or 4 years ago.
But he's bounced back through that, and I don't know, you know him better than I do, but as good as ever coming out of that.
He's really healthy, and he always gets checked. He got checked before, once a year, so he's always kind of taking his health seriously. And I give him a hard time about that because I remember when he told me, he just stopped me. He asked me if I was coming into the gym, and I'm like, yeah. So he meets me at the front door, and we sit down. And he's like, by the way, I have prostate cancer. I'm like, I give him a hard time. I'm like, that might be something in my office. Because, I did. I got teary-eyed. But no, he's very healthy. There's been rumors actually this year there's been a few more rumors that he's going to retire.
I actually asked him about that, not in that way, but.
Yeah, and he's not. And one thing I've talked to him about, because again, I love coaching with him. And I give him a hard time, so I told him he can't retire till I do. Which is a ways down, but what he always says, as long as he feels good, and he's just like, what else would I do? And and he's a great coach, and I can't imagine him doing anything else. And I can really see him coaching another 10, 15 years. I really can, because he's so good. He relates well with the players. There's the age difference there. Same with mine, starting to get an age difference, but he relates so well with those players. And what I enjoy most about his team is that he expects. Those guys are just gentlemen with my women. He's always, the ladies go first, and I think the guys learn a lot from him and the type of person that he is.
And I'll tell folks from witnessing these road trips and that sort of thing, I have never seen an incident of any kind. I think my first year I heard about one little tiny minor thing that nobody would think is a big deal. That is the only time in my 7 years I've ever heard of anything like that between the two teams. And boy, credit to both of you for the way these teams get along. First of all, they're great kids. We've always said that, but they still have their moments, and we just don't have that kind of stuff. And I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, actually, it's a lot of fun. It's been I can't imagine coaching with anybody else. I'm hoping I don't ever have to find that out. He's just a great person. And, William Jewell attracts really good people and good players. But they're I think he looks at the players the same way I do. Is we want to bring in good kids. They're going to be good student athletes.
Two more things I want to cover real quick. First, his former player Steve Broughton is now your assistant, and talk about Coach Broughton a little bit.
So Coach Broughton has been a great fit for me, and thankfully, Coach Holly, I really didn't know Steve before I asked him to be my assistant coach. And Coach Holly just said, he's a great coach. And I was losing Chad Thomason, somebody that had been with me for 7 years, and Chad's really special to me. But Steve's been a great fit. He's a great coach. He's really laid back, and so I give him a hard time about that because I'm a little fiery, and he points that out. But he's a perfect assistant coach. He gives you the ideas. We might not disagree, but he's always very, very supportive and extremely loyal. And that's my big thing. And I just know, he's always loyal to me. The players really enjoy him, and he spends we don't have the full-time assistant coach, but he puts in a ton of time and does a great job for us.
Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is your associate here along with you, sitting on your lap, is your daughter. And you interview her. You ask her a question or two and see what her response is.
I'm going to ask you questions.
Talk into the microphone,
You want to say
Rylan.
hi to anybody first? You're not going to say hi to. We left Addie
Don't
Tyson,
hit it.
Addie Tyson and Leighton all home going to school. So what are you getting to miss?
School.
Are you learning a lot here, though?
Yeah.
What did you learn today at Fazoli's?
To never eat noodles like that.
Yeah, and you
Spaghetti.
You got pop in a straw, and what were you able to do?
Huh?
What were you able to do to the pop in the straw?
Stop it from going down.
Yeah. So it's fun for, that's one of the tough things about coaching is the family life. But William Jill's been very, very good with letting me bring the kids. And are you having a good time? Are you having a good time?
Yeah.
I have a question for you. How many basketballs can you hold at one time? We found out today, didn't we?
6.
That's right, 6 basketballs at one time. That's pretty good because you're 7 years old. That's pretty outstanding. It's probably a record for 7-year-olds, I would guess. Don't you think? Jill, thank you. Rylan, thank you for coming. And she's my partner here on the bench, or at the broadcast table as well.